Okay, let's start again. And a student asked me a very meaningful question during the break. Okay, he asked, where did these tables come from? Okay, where did these tables come from? Well, these tables come from the experience, okay, of the researchers, okay, who proposed this. So these the classification of low, average, and high based on the number of data fields and the number of groups will be standard. So that means every organization, if they are using function points to estimate their project size, then they would use the same table, okay? And so this will be the same table. Of course, maybe depending on the type of people you have or the kind of technology you use, maybe it's more expensive for one organization to complete one function point, okay, than some others, okay. So that may be possible, but these tables, this classification will be the same. And as we see, the higher the number of fields or the higher the number of groupings, the higher complexity it is. And then 可唔可以細聲啲啊？你講得好大聲 ，OK？ 如果你再講咁大聲，我要請你出去， O 唔 OK 啊？明白 ，Thank you。我哋講嘢要知道喺咩時候講大聲，知道咩時候講細聲 ，OK？ 就算我俾你講，即係呢個係，即係都唔係應，即係唔係奉旨噶嘛，係嘛 ？OK。 Okay, so do we have other questions about? Oh, actually, also there's another very important or meaningful questions about this. I guess when someone asks you about, let's say for each chapter, what is the main point? What's the focus of this chapter? Is there a main idea in this focus? I probably said that, okay, but of course, in a 2-hour lecture, I said lots of things. So that would be the trouble, because for you, it may be difficult for you to find out which sentence I said is the main point, right? So, so for this chapter, the main point is about software measurements, okay? Because lots of people sort of complained about computer programming and say that computer programming is really like artwork or craftsmanship, okay? So it is someone's job, they did something, okay? So maybe if they're in a good mood, they do a better job, or like how can we have some systematic way of doing it? Because if for a field to be called engineering, it better be measurable, okay? If you want to measure productivity, if you want to measure quality, well, you cannot just say good or bad, right? You need to say how good, how bad. So by using numbers, it will be helpful, okay? So this chapter's main idea is to show you that quantification, like number, giving a number to measure things can help us achieve improved level of precision when we want to compare things. So if we can count something, then it helps us to achieve, to know what we are talking about, okay? In fact, probably, not sure if I had it on one of the slides, but some people say that if you can use a number to quantify something, then maybe you have a better understanding of the topic, okay? So if you if you cannot use number to describe something, well, maybe you don't know it well enough, right? So that is the main idea, is to perhaps help to make software engineering a truly engineering discipline rather than some sort of artwork. Okay, artwork, the painter can paint a drawing whatever the way they want, right? So but software is a little bit different, and we want it to be more engineering. Any other question? Okay, thank you. And so next, somehow I teach very fast this year. I don't know why. Maybe we did not have much holiday. That helps. So we taught a lot. But of course, next Monday is a holiday. So that's great. Also, so actually, I'm on to some of my last slides. So I have to create new slides. This is some new materials I created this year. Okay, and so for this lesson, for the remaining 40 minutes, I'll be teaching you something about project management. We've looked at project management before, so some of the stuff we will be mentioning actually will refer back to something we learned earlier. But we're referring to something called project management body of knowledge. What is body of knowledge? Okay, for a field to be considered professional field, there should be a body of knowledge that every professional, every practitioner would know. For example, for medical doctor, they need to master something very similar. Okay, and so we have mentioned something called SWBOK. Okay, software. Actually, someone have tried to put together some software engineering body of knowledge to help software engineer to ensure that every engineer knows same thing. But this actually has not been accepted by all software engineering professionals. So people, we still respect that, but not to the point that we think everyone has to know everything discussed here. Okay, so lots of people who is employed as software engineers, they carry the title of software engineers, but they may not be a master of this body of knowledge. But project management is different. We have a very famous organization called Project Management Institute. Okay, and they provide certification for people to become a project management professional, PMP, and they created the PMBOK, okay, project management body of knowledge, for everyone to study if they want to receive the certification. And this is getting very popular. So if you are doing the work of a project manager, okay, if you want to get a job to be a project manager without the PMP qualification, you will be at a very disadvantaged position. So if you want to become a project manager, this is something you need to study. And since we have extra time, somehow we have extra time this year, because I guess I taught very fast. So I'm going to teach you something specific to the PMBOK. Okay, and project management has a history of several decades, right? So over the time, different people contribute to project management. So different people may be using different terminology. So what can we do? Well, PMI, they put together this and they try to agree on certain terminology. So hopefully everyone will speak the same language, because otherwise it's like there are Chinese people, there are Japanese, we all speak different language, we cannot communicate with each other, right? But we still, those language may be adequate for us to communicate, okay? But it's even better if we speak the same language among the project managers. So PMI now has become a very, very successful organization. So you won't lose if you don't mind studying for their exam, okay? But it costs a few $100 US to take their exam, okay? And so if you want to get a job of a project manager in your company, either you show some leadership and show some mastery of your project management skills, then your boss will promote you to become a project manager. But if you move to a new company, then they feel more secure if you have a recognized qualification, such as the PMP. Okay, so the PMBOK Guide is a book that teach people like how to become a good project manager. Okay, and project manager is a tough job. Okay, it's tedious because you have to look after many things, and almost always, if you are a programmer, sometimes you will get overtime pay if you work overtime. Okay, or get time off, but project manager usually don't. Okay, you work overtime, but you still don't get overtime pay, or you don't even get you don't even get time off. But maybe it's a job that you want to do. Okay, but before you decide to become a project manager, so whatever I'm teaching right now is based on the PMP. So it means is using the terminology or the way to do things by proposed by in the PMBOK, okay, proposed by PMI, okay, the Professional Management Institute. So we're using their terminology now, okay, and the job of a project manager would be different if they work in different types of organizations. So 呢度呢五種呢，就係可以話我哋將一啲嘅公司嘅結構分類 ，OK， 可以分成呢啲公司呢according to PMBOK 呢，一間公司呢，即係將會係屬於其中一類嘅 ，OK， 咁而作為一個 project manager 呢，你喺唔同嘅公司，你嘅發揮嘅功能呢係非常之唔同嘅 ，OK， 咁所以而呢啲如果你想將來揾工嘅時候，亦都係我諗都係一啲如果你連呢啲都唔識嘅話咧，佢就知道我諗或者都唔使請你啦咁樣 ，OK， 咁 and also how you are treated, okay, in a company, even though you have the same title as a project manager, okay, you would not be treated with great respect in a functional organization, okay? But you would be a very powerful person if you are in a projectized organization. So for a project manager, okay, same title, you will be a very powerful person in here, in the bottom here, but you will not have much authority in here. And so this is almost like a continuum. So let's look at the two extreme. Okay, what's the difference? In a functional organization, project managers does not have a lot of power, so they have to ask for the permission of some functional manager or department manager. So functional manager, department manager, they have control of all the resources. They have control of which staff he want to give you to join your project. So you have to ask for their mercy. They whatever they want to give you. Okay, so project manager cannot set the budget, so they cannot decide how much money I want to spend. Okay, and so project manager would be doing different administration tasks. Okay, but on the other hand, in a projectized organization, there may not be any more departments. Okay, functional division, there may not be. Okay, even if there is, they will not be as important. So the people will be organized in projects. In a functional organization, people are organized in function. Okay, for example, what is an example? For example, there is a human resource function. Okay, there may be a finance function. Okay, so those manager would be very powerful. And in a projectized organization, the project manager would be the most powerful person, and they can choose their team members. Okay, but in the case of functional organization, the project manager will have to ask in the marketing department, can you give me a marketing rep? Okay, if the marketing manager does not like you, okay, then maybe he'll give you a lousy marketing guy. Okay, so the power is you as a project manager is not a very nice environment to work in a functional organization. Okay, but in here, project manager can decide everything. They can decide on the schedule, they decide on the budget. But here, perhaps the marketing person would decide what time they will give the product to the customer. Okay, but here, so this is the marketing, a representative from the marketing team would decide. So the difference between the project in the right-hand side and the left-hand side is that in the left-hand side, the project manager would ask each function, the manager, to give him enough people. Okay, maybe one person, two person from this function, one person, two person from another division, another department. But here, the project manager would have more authority. So you sort of can see these are the 5 organization type: projectized on this side and functionals on the other side. And the this refers to the project manager's job. So the project manager will work full time in this spectrum, this end, but will sort of work part time on this end. And authority, project manager has very little or none in this side, but gradually increases to the projectized. Okay, so matrix means the organization has two ways to organize things. One is functional, one is project. So it's sort of weaving together. Okay, so this is what it means by matrix. So also when it comes to authority over resources, people or money, projectized manager has high authority. For example, let's say on this side, if there is a team member on your project team behave very badly, the project manager cannot say, I will fire you, or you won't get a pay raise next year because you perform very badly. Okay, so at best, the project manager can say, you don't do so well. I'm going to tell your manager that so anyone on this side in the project team, they actually have another real manager. Okay, that real manager would decide whether the person get a pay raise or get a promotion. Okay, so the project manager would only give recommendation. But on this side, the project manager really is very powerful. Okay, so they can decide whether the person will have a bonus or not. So that is the different kinds of organization that project managers would work in. And project, we've said that there are project work that has a beginning and an end, but there are operational work that is just ongoing. Okay, so when doing project work or working as an employee, you want to, I guess, tell the difference. What is project work? What is operational work? Okay, and a project manager will work on, according to PMI, which work on these different constraints. Time, cost, scope means functionality, what functions your project deliver, what resources you have, including money, so it's people and money, and also quality and risk. Okay. And PMI divide activities into 47 processes in 5 process group. Okay, so there are 12 processes in here, and initially you would work on develop a project charter. Okay, is one of the first documentation, and you will also identify stakeholders. So you can see some of these things we have seen. Project charter is somewhat like a problem statement. Okay, we have mentioned earlier. Okay, and this is the initiating group. Okay, initiating, and then after that, the second group is the planning group. Third is the executing group. Fourth is the monitoring and controlling. Last one is the closing group. Okay, so let's see what we may do. In the planning group, we'll create a project plan, identify risks, plan quality management, and estimate activity durations. So this would be in the processes in the planning process. And the executing part is the big part that we, for software development, we do coding. Okay, that would be, and also maybe testing would be in here. The reason that you may not see all the software terminology in here is because PMP qualification is not only for software development, it's also for any kind of projects. Okay, so not limited to software projects. And managed communications is important, and monitors means knowing where we are. Okay, and control scope means, well, scope was initially defined in here, but perhaps if we're behind, then maybe we would decide, okay, we need to cut some of the work to meet the deadline. Okay, and then we may negotiate with the stakeholders. And so we'll control the schedule. Control, when we say control, it means we sort of monitor it as well as make changes. And at the end, we would close it. Okay, so I'll let's take a 3 minutes break. I will save this file